Okay, so this lady here, please.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I'm Sonia. I'm a joint degree student with the MBA and the policy school. This might be a slightly more out there question and open-ended, but you talk a lot about what it means to be human, and I think a lot of that is consciousness. And I'm curious, when I think about theories of consciousness, which obviously is very ill-defined, AI is hitting more and more of those. And so like, if anything, we need a revolution in how we think about consciousness. But I'm curious how you think about consciousness in AI, and if you do think that there's a possibility that AI is or will become conscious, what that looks like, what model welfare looks like in that case.
Well, let me ask you a simple question. So I'm going to give Graham credit for being conscious. And in return, he appears to be conscious. And in return, Graham is going to give it to me. So for purposes of argument, the computer is on the table.
Yeah.
And we ask the computer, are you conscious? And it says, yes. And so you, being the smart graduate student here at Harvard, come up with a series of questions. It answers every question correctly. How do we know? How could you know that the computer is conscious? How would you understand its internal reasoning state? Now, you could instrument the way its reasoning works, which people are now doing. What they're doing is they're watching what are called supernodes within the weight structure to watch how it's actually making its decisions. So maybe you could discover consciousness by inspection, but that's speculation. So I sat down with a bunch of neuroscientists because I didn't know the answer to this question. I said, how does consciousness evolve? And their theory, which is just a theory, was that consciousness evolves when you have dissimilar systems that are working together and growing, and they develop an awareness of the other, right? And that human consciousness evolved because we needed to understand that we were something, right? That the development of the id, the identity, and so forth and so on, was necessary in order to command the system. Now, there's no way to prove that. So the answer is, I don't know. But this is a good question. It's a fourth question to ask this audience to work on. And there's two questions. The first, how does it work? And the second is, how would you verify it?